practice. I thought it was a lot of good situations. And we practiced in helmets today. That was good to get the guys moving around after that game. I know a lot of guys had a lot of reps during that, so we focused more on the ones today, working, getting more reps because they didn't play in the game, so I thought that was really good. We got really some goals here to accomplish, leading into this next few days is, number one is to really improve our conditioning, mental and physical conditioning. We're getting that done here in the next couple of days, making sure we stay healthy. So the guys are going to be working with the strength staff, performance staff on the tables, making sure their bodies are right. And then really refining and improving our fundamentals and our skill sets. And with that, finding our winning way in terms of our skill sets. We got to be able to do that here in the next few days before we go on break over the weekend and get into the real season. So we're excited about that part of it. But with that, I'll open up to questions.
Jalen Johnson, okay, he left practice.
Yeah. So Jalen Johnson's it's personal, but it's a good thing. It's nothing bad.
And, do you like this new, like, since they changed the preseason, you now have like this longer gap between your last preseason game and your first game, and for your starters, since they didn't play in the last game, it's like 3 weeks, since they played an actual game. Do you like this new thing that you guys have been dealing with the last few years?
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters if I like it or not, but I'll answer the question. It does have scheduling issues to it, especially when you have a Thursday game. But you got to, like I said, that's why the goals is what they are. So you got to keep them sharp, keep them mentally and physically in shape, conditioning wise, and their fundamentals got to stay sharp. And, we're going to have a pads practice coming up here on the Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll have another pads practice on that Wednesday going into the game. So I feel good about that physical side in terms of the fronts, being able to pass pro and rush the passer and in the run game too.
How do the two new guys fit in, Taylor and Williams? What kind of role can they play? How quickly can you kind of get a feel for what they can do for it?
Yeah, just watching the tape, and I'm sure you watched some of it too. Taylor, really good edge guy in terms of the sack. He's had good sack production. We feel good about that. I think he brings a different skill set than we have out there in terms of the way he rushes. What I like most about him is his motor. He's got a great motor. He finishes. He needs some refinement at the top of the rush, which we'll work on that. But he pursues and does everything that everybody else does in the building that we expect and what we hold guys accountable to. Williams I had in Indianapolis, and he was a young guy back then, and I really commended him on his improvement he's made over the last couple of years. And he's done a really good job of refining his skill set and his pass rush and him playing the run. He does a really good job, uses his length really well, and he does the same thing. We don't bring guys in here that don't like to play hard, so it's important that we watch the tape and we have guys that have our DNA to start, and then we can take them to the next level once they get here.
At the Seahawks signed Taylor and they saw him all through camp and then let him go for a draft pick. Is he just have more value in your defense than he did for them? I mean, to get him this late, does that make sense?
I mean, there's a lot of guys that have done that conversion, from a odd front being only a 9 technique to be able to play defensive end, and I've had a bunch of those over the course of my career, and it's always worked out. Those guys always make good defensive ends in our system. It's because we're not, like I said before, we're not asking them to play inside mostly, or kick them inside, play inside the tight end. We're mostly playing from a wide position, and those guys will flourish in that system.
Does it make a difference? Your defense when you brought in Gakwe in camp last year, where your defense is, it seems like you've made a big jump. Obviously, last year they're still figuring out the system and so now they're more established. Does that make it any easier for a guy like Taylor to get immersed into your defense?
I do, Pat. I think it does make it easier because he has guys that he can talk to about the scheme. The players and the coaches have been at one more year, and then the addition of Eric Washington in terms of having his D-line expertise in there will certainly help along with Travis, and Bing. So it'd be good.
With Williams, the first year you had him as a UDFA on the practice squad. What were the things that he did to go from practice squad to earning a spot on that 53-man roster for a time in year 2?
Yeah, I think it was we had some injury in there, if I remember correctly, and but he earned that spot too because of the way he practices, the way he plays, and the way he was just learning and getting better every single week. And he played some significant snaps for us. I know he played in the Tennessee game, and I know he played at the end of the year, so he did a nice job in there.
Is his get off one of the things that makes him effective? Is that like at the top of the list?
I would say, Yeah, I like his get off. He does have a good get off. That's beating the guys to the punch and getting on them fast. And I think he plays the run really well. So he's got to continue to grow in there. So we've changed some things since we've been. He was with us a couple years ago in terms of technique, and some of the calls are different because we evolve as we go. So we have to learn those things too.
Matt, now that you've seen a month of the receivers for Rome, do you envision his contributions being similar to the type that DJ and Keenan are expected to make, or do you think you'll bring him along more slowly at the start to see what he's capable of?
No, I think he's very capable of doing all those things. I really do. Like I've said before, he's able to chunk a lot of information. Chris does a wonderful job coaching those guys in terms of alignment, assignment, motions, all those things that we do, and we're able to move those guys around, and that's really going to be beneficial to our scheme.
Yeah, with back to Taylor, having a guy like that with his production, how much flexibility does it give you on the D line? Just mixing and matching guys, whether it's moving D-Walk inside, all this stuff. Does it help? Do you have more flexibility today than you had a few days ago?
Yeah, I would say so. Because of the skill sets, we're able to move guys around, and it's important that he learns how he's rushing with the guy next to him. So it's like the old 4=1. We got to be able to rush off each other, and when you're going straight rush, because a lot of times things happen when you're throwing your fastballs, but everybody is, and then you're covering up for each other. So all depending on what the quarterback is, where he is, and that's time on task. So we're gonna have to get that here in the next couple weeks.
Do you have an update on Larry Borum with that injury the other night? And then are you comfortable with Pryor as a swing tackle?
Yeah, I don't have an update for Larry right now. And Pryor for swing tackle? Yeah, we love Pryor. Pryor can play all positions. That's why we love him. He can go inside, outside. He doesn't play center, but he can move inside, outside, at guard on both sides, tackle on both sides. So we're excited about him.
Yeah, based on what you had seen from Pickens in camp, what did you envision him doing as far as his role? How much increased over last year, and how much does the injury kind of alter that? Is that more of a longer term thing?
Yeah, we hope it's we don't think it's a long term thing. We don't know where it is exactly right now, but we do feel good about him and his progress. Certainly feel great about Dexter too. Both those guys have grown immensely since they've been here, and we're excited about their future and excited about this year for them.
We haven't seen Scales in a couple of weeks, even just with rehabbing with the guys. Is that an injury you think could linger into the early part?
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. We don't know right now, but when we do know, we'll have to make decisions once we're there. So we're ready to do that, and we'll be flexible.
Could Taylor be a guy that gets the bulk of the reps outside of Montez if it goes right for him?
I think it'll be rotational. I really do, and then we'll play that hot hand. Like I said, I feel really good about all the guys that are out there right now, Booker, Dom, and D-Walk, and all those guys that are playing with Tez on the one side. So we'll just make it a competition and see who's hot, and let them rush.
Explore the rivers of Europe with Tauk and connect more deeply to the people and places you visit. Enjoy a more intimate, engaging atmosphere with fewer passengers on board and expertly guided shore excursions without the crowds, all included in one upfront price. Travel beyond ordinary. Travel with Tauk.